Why don't you tell me about the rescue this morning?
Yeah, this morning John Gator came by my house because he didn't have my number at home. It's an unlisted number. And he knocked on the door at 6 o'clock and said, "Ruedi, we got a boat behind the falls stuck and I think we need you." So we ran back to the heliport here, and thanks God one of my engineers was already in at that time too. And another officer rushed over here. And to the time I got to the heliport, everything was ready. The ship was outside, she was wired up, and the headsets and all the rescue gear we need was ready to go. And we flew from here with 3 officers from the Niagara Parks Police, John Gator, Sean Black, and Lance Tobin, and my aircraft maintenance engineer, Ken Irvine, to Goat Island. We could see it from the Rainbow Bridge, where the boat was in trouble, and so we went straight for the tip of Goat Island, landed there. We didn't even shut down. We attached the short haul line and attached the officer Sean Black to it, and they supplied us with 2 of their harnesses, the New York Parks Police. And the first trip was flying out there with Sean tangling underneath the helicopter, actually 110 feet below the helicopter. That's how long the line was, and dropped off the harness first. And then those 2 guys on the boat, they were stranded out there. They put their harnesses on. Then the second trip, we pickled the first guy, and then the third trip we pickled the second guy. So it was 3 trips out to the boat where we had to place our officer in the boat to get to their officers. And yeah, the whole thing took about, I would say, 3 times 5 to 10 minutes. I think we added up about 18 minutes to flying time to get those officers out of their misery.
How difficult is it flying in those circumstances when you've got somebody hanging below the helicopter?
Yeah, we picked up some wind too. On one side it was good because I got rid of the fog, right? The police helicopter for the sheriff's department, they couldn't come because their base was fogged in. That's why we got called. And thanks God we had some wind, because otherwise there would have been fog still in that area too, and in fog we can't fly, right? It's definitely not a rescue mission like that. But I tried to face the helicopter as much into the wind as possible, but that got me looking at the other shoreline. It was very far away, so it didn't give me a good reference for a steady hover. And every so often I had to look down to place the guy into that tiny little nutshell of a boat, and whenever I looked at that fast moving water, it set me off. It was an experience I never had to such an extreme before in my flying career. So then with my spotter in the back, Ken Irvine, who was in constant radio contact with me, and Sean Black was hanging down on the line, and then 2 officers also on the shoreline who were also talking to me, they were able to place me over the boat, and they gave me good information on how high he was above the boat and when to lower him. And so that's how we got them finally into that nutshell, because we had to get them into the boat that they could get attached to each other, right, and we could airlift them together.